All right, y'all. So I posted on my Facebook yesterday about this movie that I watched on Hulu that is pretty much like a 2A bash movie. What I got from it, like the movie storyline was all over the place, and there's gonna be spoiler alerts. The movie that I'm talking about is called The Desperate Hour, starring Naomi Watts. So if you don't want me to ruin the movie for you, then you don't have to stick around and watch me complain about it. But anyway, to sum up the movie, what I take away from this movie is it made law enforcement look like freaking idiots. Like they're incapable of handling an active shooter situation. The white woman privilege in this movie was beyond ridiculous and unrealistic in real life. This movie was a slap in the face to responsible 2A gun owners. This movie was a slap in the face to law enforcement. This movie was offensive to anyone that's ever been in a mass shooting or lost anyone in a mass shooting. Pretty much, to briefly summarize, because I could be here for 30 minutes or more talking about this movie. This woman is widowed. Her son is in high school. Her daughter is in elementary. Her son is going through depression, and at some point during the movie, they're all going through something mentally. Obviously, it's like the movie is like the premise of it is a year anniversary of her husband's passing. And she decides to call out from work and take a jog, and all of these bells and whistles that she sees along the way, she doesn't take heed to any of the bells and whistles, and she continues to run. She ran so far, she ran 5 miles away from her house. And throughout the movie, pretty much the desperate hour is her desperately trying to get back to her son. And throughout the movie, while she's running, she's calling the police department, she's calling the school, she's calling other parents in the neighborhood. She's stranded. She's trying to find a ride. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you. It was just ridiculous. But to sum the part that really irked my nerves, as she's communicating with the sergeant of the police department, he's questioning her about the guns that she has in her house, because at one point in time during the movie, they think that her son is the shooter. And he's asking her, what kind of guns do you have? And she's like, oh, well, I have some hunting rifles. And they're down in the basement, and they're in a safe, and the safe has a lock, and I don't think that my son has the passcode. So then the sergeant's like, well, do you think that maybe your son could have ordered some assault rifles and had them delivered to the house without you knowing? Do you think if she knew that, you would have to ask her that question? So here we go with the whole ban AR-15 thing, right? Because as he's talking to her, and she goes from thinking that her son's a victim to thinking that her son's the shooter to thinking that her son is the victim, she blurts out, my son is stuck in a school with someone that has an effing AR-15 and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nowhere in the conversation did the cops say that the active shooter had an AR-15. And I'm really sick of seeing the whole rhetoric with every time there's a mass shooting, the first thing that these politicians out here want to do is ban AR-15s. Why? Because they deem them as assault rifle, which the AR in AR-15 does not stand for assault rifle. It does not stand for automatic rifle. It stands for Armalite rifle. It's the kind of build that particular rifle is, and it has nothing to do with it being an assault rifle. Furthermore, there's about 20 types of rifles that are deemed as an assault rifle. Why y'all are so gung-ho zoned in on banning AR-15s is beyond me. But this movie was beyond ridiculous, and if common sense just does not grow on trees, because at one point in the movie she solved the whole active shooter, identified him while she was running through the woods. Y'all, she done fell, bumped her head, stopped for a while, reminisced, watched videos on her phone, all in the desperate hour to get to her son. And her and some guy from a car shop, breaking all types of laws, were able to solve this active shooter case better than the police and the SWAT team that were on scene at this supposed active shooter thing, right? She calls the active shooter and she's pleading with the active shooter to spare the life of her son, and that everybody in that school are good kids. And like, come on, like this movie was trash. And it's clear that just rip up the Constitution at this point, because y'all are stripping all of our rights away, right? But this whole like 2A thing and ban AR-15s, like, educate yourselves. First of all, y'all, I'm surprised that HULU would even put up such a movie, off the heels of so many incidents that have happened, between the Buffalo mass shooting, between the school shooting in Uvalde that just happened. Like, it was just tasteless and terrible. And to show you how terrible it was, when I went on Facebook, you know how you can do your little status and it shows what you're watching, and typically like a movie poster would come up. There ain't no movie poster for this trashy movie. Like, this is an insult. If this did no justice to anybody that has lost anyone as a result of mass shootings. Like, it's clear y'all are pushing an agenda here, and everything that they're trying to tell you, where this country is going, what they're doing, like they're forcing things down our throats. Like the way that she went ranting about an AR-15, and we don't even know in the movie what kind of guns this active shooter had. Like, I'm gonna let y'all watch it for yourself, but spoiler alert, this movie was trash. And I guarantee you that after you watch it, if you feel like wasting an hour and 50 minutes of your time, you'll be just as agitated as I am. Stop grouping law-abiding, responsible gun owners, regardless of what kind of gun you have, in with people that wake up and decide that they want to kill people. Because regardless of whether you have a gun or a knife or a bomb, like, the thing about it is, if somebody wants to kill a bunch of people, it doesn't matter how they do it, they're going to kill a bunch of people. And I know it's cliche to say, but people with guns kill people. Guns don't kill people. So please stop. Like, it's in the movies, it's ridiculous, and I'm over it already. I know a lot of people are over it, but this movie, y'all watch it. And I hope you come back here and share what your takeaway was from this movie. The Desperate Hour on HULU, starring Naomi Watts. She should have read that script and said, you know what, no, I'm not doing this. But this is Brandon's agenda that he wants to, it's okay for you to have a shotgun that can leave a hole in you about this big, but no, let's ban AR-15s. And you know what I say to that? Go and F yourself.